the artist needs to feel comfortable expressing his or herself with you. And so you have to provide that safe space. I want you to be able to completely let loose, accept the vulnerability, and just give it the best you got.
The One More Time Music Podcast. Genuine conversations with genuine people about music. Hosted by Henry with a 3 and Playback Ben.
Went from Beamer Coops to Pencils. Don't want this to end, so part that one more time. Part that one more time. Part that shit like one more time. They part that one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode of the One More Time podcast. We're in year 2.
Season 2.
It's not season 2. God dang it.
Sorry, year 2.
Anyways, I'm your host, Playback Ben, here with my co-host.
Henry with a 3, because Henry with an E was already taken.
And Henry with a 3. Who do we have on the podcast today, my guy?
Welcoming in on the first episode of the second season of the One More Time podcast. Professional basketball player, newest member of the New Orleans Pelicans, it's CJ McCollum.
CJ.
Oh, man. I like that.
Are y'all gonna take out the Suns now that they don't have Devin Booker? This is a heated series.
Yeah, man. You know, it's looking like an easier series, you know.
It is,
so,
it is.
You know, I'm very confident in what we could do.
All right, well, I'll put some money down.
In all seriousness, as part of year 2, the first episode in year 2, episode 53 overall, we have legendary producer, DJ Christo.
Christo.
Yo, thank y'all for having me.
Yo, appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for
man.
coming.
Fresh off of 2 weekends in Coachella.
Yeah, man.
You look tan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got nothing but sun.
Yeah, exactly. The Palm Springs sun.
Sun and dust.
Dust.
Coachella dust.
Is it all it's like hyped up to be? Is it really just the peak festival?
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That was one of the craziest experiences ever, for real.
I mean, Stick looked fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stick went crazy.
Yeah. The crowd.
Did you expect it to do that at a festival? Like, you know, just having worked on this, you know, song, did you know that was how it was going to be received?
Not like specifically like how it was. Like, we know it's gonna go crazy because, you know, it's towards the end of the set, but like how it actually goes crazy, like you couldn't predict that at all.
It is a performance track though. That's one that you always hit when you do a show.
Oh yeah.
You're never skipping that one.
It looks so fun. I mean, to be there as a fan, like out in the crowd, but then obviously to be there rocking the DJ set with your boy JID. I mean, that had to be magical, man. I mean,
oh yeah. And I like the DJ setup, the platform for it was like a lot higher than what I'm normally used to standing on. So not only did I got like a complete bird's eye view of like the whole thing and seeing everybody just go stick. It was just wild.
That's
That
probably
was
the best
crazy.
view in the house, honestly. Like,
he was sitting up
yeah.
on his throne.
front and center
his
up on
DJ
the,
throne.
kidding me? That's it.
No, it looked nuts. Other than obviously, you know, the JID sets, did you catch some other, you know, performances?
Oh yeah.
Who stood out?
Man, Jesse Reyes had a fire set, fire from top to bottom. Snow Allegra had a crazy set, and Baby Keem's set was.
Yeah, we've all seen that footage.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kendrick came out for Family Ties, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. Family Ties. It was crazy.
That's hard. What do you do during the week between the weekends?
So what we did was, me and Jid went to LA actually, and just worked on music for the time being. We
Still a producer.
yeah,
Just got to keep it moving.
yeah, we didn't have a setup.
No days off. No days off.
We didn't have a setup at the spot we were at, so we just went into LA and just recorded from there, and then came back on Thursday to get ready for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Fire.
That's awesome. I mean, is there a bunch of like industry events though going on in LA like during that week? Did y'all keep it low key and just work on music, or was there a bunch of shit you had to do?
Yeah, we just kept it low key. We just stayed in the studio, and that was it. Literally, the only other place we went to was sushi.
Okay.
Restaurant.
Yeah. So Off to Zoinkies was probably the first time I heard the JID and Christo, and like, I don't know if I was late. I hope I'm, I hope I'm not disrespecting you by that being my first experience to your tag and like your production. But man, like that record definitely set it off for me and like brought me into JID's world. And then obviously your world, as a producer that works really closely with him. So that one will always be in my mind, man. It's like that first time I heard your tag for sure. Mm-hmm. But we'll get to kind of the JID, relationship and you know how that's kind of evolved. But going back to kind of your upbringing, right? Like you are big bro to Benji.
Former guest.
Episode 37.
30 and change.
Yeah, 30 and change. You know, who we had on the podcast. Also, you know, tied to since the 80s, super dope bassist, super dope producer, but obviously amazing artist as well. He told me he's getting close to his next project being done. So hopefully we'll get that soon. But, you know, how has your relationship with Benji evolved? Like since you guys were young to kind of how you know, because you guys are still working together, you're still in the same circles. Like tell us kind of how that relationship's evolved.
Yeah, we've done everything together since childhood. So ever since, you know, I started making music, he was wanting to make music as well. And, you know, we listened to a lot of the same stuff together. And right around like high school, when I really started like trying to give music a chance, you know, I started out rapping and singing. And so he was just like, you know, kind of just like watching and studying and anything he worked on, like he showed me. Like I was one of the first people he always showed, like, yo, I just started working on this song. Yo, I did this. What you think of this? What you think of that? And I'd always give him, you know, advice and pointers and stuff. And
how much older are you?
2 years.
2 years, yeah. So he's trying to impress big bro for sure.
In a way, but he also trying to show that, like, you know, he was trying to show his own style. Like, this is how unique I want to make my own stuff. So, you know, we always were just going back and forth with just sending each other ideas and what we were working on and just getting opinions and stuff, because he, even like since early on, like his opinion I always valued just because we came from the same house. So we always liked the same stuff. And then what things different we liked, we both appreciated and respected. So we always stayed back and forth. And even through college, like, we just kept showing each other stuff, and we didn't really collab on any music until like, when he was like in college. And I never wanted to like intervene too much with his music because, you know, he was really trying to figure it out for himself. And as talented as he is, you know, you got to give somebody with that kind of talent that space and that room to really let them grow and figure some things out. Yeah. So I would like lightly intervene on stuff, but then as he really started growing into his sound and stuff, then I was starting to see where I could fit myself into his sound and stuff. And that was around when he dropped out of college, before he made Smile You're Alive. That's when I really was like really being more hands-on with his music and not only making beats, but kind of going in post, kind of like what I do with JID and Earth Gang and everybody else, but really jumping in and being hands-on with his music. And it's literally grown more and more ever since.
But how hard is it to give someone space versus like give them all the game that you think they need to hear, right? Because I assume there was somewhat of a blend of putting him on to stuff, like, you know, giving him advice, giving him pointers as big bro should, but then also giving him that space to fail almost, or to evolve on his own. Like, was that hard for you to kind of take a step back sometimes?
Sometimes it was, because you want someone to figure it out.
Failure is generally a good thing in like the creative world. If something doesn't work out, you just learned a way that it's not going to work.
Exactly. It's trial and error. So, it wasn't too hard. It would be hard sometimes, just because like sometimes you have like a vision and you hear things a certain way, and you wish that the artist would go that way, but then you're also reminded that this is a human thing and that it isn't going to go that way. So it's better for you to just let it be. And hopefully, you know, they come around to figuring it out. And when you have someone who's extremely talented, like, they're going to figure it out. So that's the part that eases me personally about working with anybody, is when you know they have the talent to figure it out, then it's just a matter of time. It's
crazy. I was just listening to an interview with Wayno, who's now at QC, I think, you know, doing A&R work. And he, talked with Adam on No Jumper about like, almost having it be like the artist had the idea on their own. Like you have to be so delicate with like, you know, giving your opinion on things because you don't want to like tear the artist down.
Inception.
Yeah, like you don't want to tear them down, right? You know, you don't want to make them feel like they can't take risks and be themselves because you think that they should do X, Y, Z. But you obviously have a good ear. Wayno, of course, has been doing this a long time, working under, you know, Rockefeller and other labels and managing Dave East, whatever. He's been in a lot of sessions. He knows what sounds good. But still, it's like, it's not as simple as just like, hey, do this.
Right.
You know, it's like having them kind of like come into it on their own. And it might be that they come into it on their own and it doesn't end up being what you thought it was going to be. But sometimes that's cool too, you know?
Yeah, right. You just you just let things be and understand that your opinion is only an opinion. Like,
Yeah,
it's
who's to
not
say you're even
guaranteed
right?
Fact. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the best ears still,
Yeah.
they're one person.
And if he had a question for you, you'd answer it. You would just be like, figure it out.
But no, so he was obviously drawn to the bass early on. You guys were a super musical household from what, you know, he shared with us. What were some of the instruments or like the ways you were kind of starting out early on to like, you know, find your love for music?
And didn't he play the Seinfeld theme first? Wasn't that one of the first things he said he learned?
Bro, notoriously. I mean, like 500 times a night. Every night. There'd be times my mom would be like, yo, can you stop? Like, please. He's such a hard trainer and practicer that he won't stop until he has it perfectly done. And
His fingers are bleeding, raw.
swear to God, I mean, literally, the lines on his fingers were going into his bones. His cartilage almost. Like,
Oh, man.
That's hilarious. So, you know, so what instruments did you play, you know, kind of growing up?
growing up, I played the keyboard, piano, violin through school since like fourth grade all the way up to high school, and
Okay.
then I learned the drums like towards the end of high school. But yeah, it was mainly those instruments.
Do you think playing an instrument has helped your, you know, work as a producer?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
I got an idea theory early on, and just that knowledge of basic theory at that too. Just even that knowledge of it.
Just what key am I in?
You know,
You know what I mean?
simple stuff like that, like knowing the time signatures and knowing that, oh, well, I can switch from this to this, and that it definitely just made things easier at first.
You making any beats that aren't in 4/4?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
a
what,
lot.
3/4, 6/8? What do you?
3/4, 6/8, 5/4, 6/4.
This guy. Oh, I want to
Yeah.
hear that stuff. I want to hear that.
Yeah, it's definitely in the hidden folders. These ones normally artists don't take.
No.
But they're fun for you to make.
100%, 100%.
For sure. For sure. So, you know, you also played a variety of sports, but I feel like you kind of landed on soccer. Like soccer, you know, was a big part of your life and is still a big part of your life. You just came off watching some Premier League, I think, right?
Liverpool, let's go.
Yep. Liverpool got the W today, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is this, by the way, is this an actual soccer jersey or is just this American Deli, like soccer style shirt?
Oh,
It's actually the uniform at American Deli.
It should be, man. Atlanta should have them as a sponsor.
Yes.
Shout out my boy Peanut. He makes these soccer jerseys, and he comes up. They're fire concepts. He'll pick a company
That would never sponsor a soccer team.
you know, and then the state flag included, and he the pairings of the two are always fire. So yeah,
And his name's
Shout
name's
out
Peanut, which
Yeah.
is awesome.
Big shout out to him.
That's hilarious. Have you ever been to England like for a match?
Yeah. I went to a Manchester United Tottenham match.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
one time.
Did you get to see some hooligans? Some soccer hooligans?
Man, yeah, that was the wildest.
Did you feel
sporting
like
event
nervous,
ever.
like
Oh,
attending?
yeah. Like, I didn't know at the time. I wore a Liverpool jersey.
Oh
and-
God, we've talked about people wearing jerseys of teams that are not
Aren't playing in the game? They don't like that.
They don't like that at all, especially not a op like Liverpool. You know what I mean? So I didn't know that, and you know, thank God, you know, one of my mates just telling me like, yo, you know, you just gonna have to zip your jacket up, man, because if they see that, like, it's not gonna end well.
He said
bro.
one of my mates, like a real Englishman.
Yeah, I was like, that was so like, yeah, that was so smooth the way he said it. I was like, sounded normal. I'm not going to call him out, but thanks, Henry. But so yeah, he told you to zip that shit up because
zip it up. Don't let nobody see that, man, because there's gonna be a scene for real.
Oh,
so I
man.
said, all right, I'll do it. I'm gonna follow the rules, And I sat on the Manchester United side too. I reacted to all the other goals, and I'm realizing like, oh man, like, oh they're giving me dirty looks and stuff. I'm like, oh okay, I need to chill.
it's that serious.
Yeah, it's serious over there for real.
Damn,
they don't play that.
I've seen Green Street Hooligans, and like obviously I know people who are like super into soccer, especially like English soccer and Premier League soccer, and like I always heard it was that intense, but like I'm glad to have like,
bro, there's French teams and Irish teams that still throw bananas at black soccer players. That's still a thing in 2022, bro.
Yeah,
like we're still there.
That's
insane, right?
No, it's
Wrong with
crazy,
people, right?
That's wild.
It's real life.
That's wild. So okay, so starting to make beats around high school, you said, right?
I started making beats around college when I dropped out of college. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you kind of led the charge in going to Duquesne and then dropping out.
Yeah.
Because Benji did the exact same thing.
For sure.
He made it way farther than you, though, I think, right?
Oh, man. Like his last semester of school. Like
he had like...
That's where I'm at, Georgia State.
He had like 9 hours
Go
left.
back, basically finish, yeah.
Yeah, so...
But you did the same thing? You just dropped out?
I not that close. I need like 7 classes. But yeah, I never finished at Georgia State. Music, baby.
Oh,
we're locked in.
Man. Your parents are cool with that?
Yeah-ish.
Yeah, I mean, tell us your perspective on how your parents reacted. Both pastors.
Actually, they didn't trip, actually, because I presented it to them the right way. I was just like...
Got a PowerPoint made.
Yeah, right.
It was a slideshow, yeah. Yep.
I got my oratory up, said it loud and clear and direct.
Yeah.
No, I just told them, like, and I did it early. I did it my 3rd semester in. And I was just...
Is that
like,
making it better or worse?
I don't know, actually. Like, damn.
I felt like it made it better because I told them, look, I can save y'all hella money.
Boom.
Okay.
Duquesne was cheap. I mean, Duquesne was not cheap at all.
Yeah.
Like, it was like upwards of 45 grand.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
a year. So I'm like, look, I'm saving all this bread and I'm going to get a job. Like, I'll take care of myself. But it's better for me to do this early than to do it later. And you be even more in debt, and...
I'm convinced.
They were
Sold.
like, yeah. They were like, all right, cool. Just get a job and let's figure it out.
Damn.
I said, all right, bet. Which
Shout
I
out to
will.
mom and pop.
So did you have the confidence that you were actually gonna succeed in music as a career at that point?
100%.
Really? So it was but was it a calculated like leave? Like, did you already have motion at all, or like none?
I had no motion. At
No
all.
motion.
It was strictly dreams.
Just
for
gut
sure.
feeling, dreams, aspirations of making a career out of music.
It's a kid with a dream and FL Studio or Ableton.
It was Studio One at the time.
Studio One.
Yeah.
What are you in now?
Ableton now.
Ableton, yeah. For
Yeah,
sure.
Ableton gang.
Sure. I'll give you that. It's fine.
Do you remember your first beat ever made? Like
Yeah.
first complete beat.
I do.
Was it trash?
It's actually pretty dope.
Because Benji said it was super fire.
Who, his or mine?
He said your first beat. He said he remembers your first beat.
It's a natural.
Yeah, I remember it was pretty dope.
He said it was
Yeah.
like a soulful groove with like a dope bass line. Like, is that the beat?
Oh yeah. It turned into a whole song actually.
Okay.
Because at the time when I first started making beats, I was still like writing and rapping.
So you were producing for yourself, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I'm tired of waiting on these producers. I'll do this shit myself.
And
Their shit's trash anyways.
At the time, I was still like in this Christian rap kind of mode. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
What was your rap name?
Joe Christo.
Joe Christo?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just took my first and middle name and spliced them. Just to Joe and then Christo.
Yeah.
Could be worse. Could be worse.
Yeah,
We've heard
right.
worse first, like, music monikers
We've
on
heard
here,
bad
so-
ones.
Yeah. That one's at least close enough to what you landed on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, so you're making beats for yourself. Mm-hmm. And so that one was like, one that, did you end up getting on it?
Yeah, I made a whole song to it. It's called Holy Ghost Party. And
Amazing.
That's great.
I was super into Lupe at the time, so it was like a blend of, it was like this DJ Jazzy Jeff, Will Smith type beat with like Lupe flows, and
Okay.
yeah, it was
Is it out on the internet anywhere?
no, I don't think so.
Damn.
I don't think so. I
All
would
right.
hope not.
We're gonna need to hear that.
There will be a link down below, everybody. We're going to upload it on SoundCloud.
Damn. So, obviously you're starting to make your own music, but then, when do you start working with Devon Miles? Like, how long did you, because was that kind of like the first thing that started picking up
yeah.
steam, you think?
Yeah, we've been boys since freshman year of high school.
Okay, as a high school homie.
Yeah, man. Like we used to just write each other raps in class. Like I'd sit on one end and he'd be like on the other end of the class, and we would just write bars, like 4, 8 bars, and just pass each other. Yo, what you think? Yo, oh, I thought, yeah. All right, bet, yeah. Here you go, yeah.
Yo, if you're the teacher collecting those notes as
Yeah.
opposed to love notes, you're
Read
like,
that out loud.
These are fire.
Damn. This is poetry.
Oh man, luckily
got
nobody
bars.
caught us, man. But
They're slick.
You were smooth.
man, yeah, we literally listened to everything together. We grew up together, you know what I mean? And when he started taking rap serious was around like senior year of high school, freshman year of college. And his first tape, I was around like not really as a producer, but like I was like writing hooks for him and
Ghostwriter.
Yeah, ghostwriting and like fake like executive producing. Like I didn't make none of the beats, but I was like picking them and like, yo, we should fuck with
That's
this one. And
still an executive producer. People have that fucked up. Like you can be an executive producer and not make a single beat.
yo, straight up,
Absolutely. That's possible.
straight up,
Yeah.
So you were doing that at a
Young age.
yeah,
early on in your career. It's kind of funny that's I feel like something that you're doing and or have like aspirations to continue to like build up that that EP credit list, right?
Oh yeah, I'm always interested in helping somebody figure their album out, figure their project out.
Yeah.
I love piecing things together. I love
Me too.
finding moments that really make a project cohesive, and I just have the ear for that, and that's one thing Devon appreciated off rip. Like that's why we'd always just sit in studio sessions and just, even if we weren't making stuff, we would listen to a lot to music to get inspo to then go make music about later. But yeah, we always bounced back and forth off of each other.
Yeah, so he starts to get a little bit of, motion around the city, or kind of like what was his come up like? And obviously you end up, working alongside him as that happens, but kind of, what was his trajectory like?
Oh man, he, especially in the city, he was buzzing crazy. Like Pittsburgh is it's kind of tough locally to really get noticed and
Benji
to get
said the same thing.
respect. It's tough, bro, because everybody's trying to make it, and like because of how small it is, people kind of want to separate themselves from each other, and the ideas of collabing so early on in your career, it just isn't like, you don't want to imagine it because you want to come up on your own first and then, dictate how things go in the city. And so like, he fought through it early on, and, he got the respect of everyone. Like, he was working with Mac early. He's working with ID Labs early. And so, it didn't take long for him to get a buzz. And, we did shows around the city. I was his hype man. He got pressed really quick. And, the trajectory for him was huge at the time. At the time was going to be like, he's going to be after Mac and Wiz, he had the production, he had the style, he had the charisma, the personality. He's light skinned.
Yeah, he had the right melanin levels.
And he was a go-getter for sure. And so that took us around the country. I wouldn't say pretty fast, but it definitely, Devon's come up helped me see like, this is definitely what I need to be doing, and I'm gonna enjoy this grind, whether it's tough or whether it's not so tough. Like, I'm gonna stick with this for sure.
Yeah. Was that the first was that kind of getting your feet wet with the tour DJing side of things? Was DJing for him or?
No, I was just hype man. So it got me.
Okay, you didn't DJ for him?
No,
okay.
Never DJ'd for him.
Okay.
But it definitely gave me stage experience and show experience and seeing the ins and outs of the business and stuff like. We wouldn't have like too many shows, but if artists were coming into the city, we were opening up for them at the time. And when you haven't really made it like that, like that's huge.
Yeah, for sure. So I think you also start working with Hardo a little bit, right? Was it around that same time period, or like was that kind of right after, or?
Yeah, Hardo, Devon, and then along with Barry and Zeke introduced me to Hardo.
Shout out Barry and Zeke for sure.
Shout out since the 80s.
Shout out my brothers for real. I remember Hardo was just getting out of jail, and one of the first places he came to was our crib, and he was just trying to record and make music. Devon's a fire engineer. I don't know if you know that. But
okay.
He's a fire engineer. As much as an artist, he was also recording and mixing for himself and for like Hardo and me and other artists for sure. And so
that's rare.
So we have Devon to thank for Joe Christo's perfect mixes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Hardo will come and he just as soon as he got out, he just took off running, with music, and he would come to our spot like a lot, like every other day. And when he found out I was making beats, it was like, all right, bet. Like, it was funny because, the music we were making was like nowhere near like what he was making with everybody else. Like super trap sound, and I come in with like this super motivational. Like, I knew my lane early. Like, all right, like my heartbeats ain't gonna work with him. So have to find a different sound and work it out.
Yeah, for sure. So how did Since the 80s enter the picture? Because I feel like you knew at least like Zeke also from kind of high school and whatnot, right?
Yeah, Zeke was one of the first dudes I met in high school. It was funny because Zeke, I didn't even know him at the time. He didn't even know me, but when he spotted me up and everybody else seen that, everybody else started respecting me because Zeke greeted me first, you know what I'm saying? And we stayed tight all through high school because him and Devon were a lot closer than I was with Zeke. But we go to the games a lot, and we just had that relationship early on to then where it came time to take music professionally. We already had a pairing that, we already had a level of trust to really like start getting things going. And Zeke then put me on to Barry, who then introduced me to everybody else, Earth Gang and JID, and I definitely got to credit Zeke with the pairing of me and JID for sure, because he was always just passing me opportunities. Even when I was working with Devon, like he was super super hands-on on the creative side of things, and always trying to be involved in some type of way, always trying to find a way to help me out. And if there was an artist who needed something, he was putting me on, and then the rest was really history from there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, shout out Barry from Simpson for sure. So I guess like was JID the only person that you DJ'd for then?
Well, I DJ'd for Hardo before JID, actually.
Okay. So so like what were some of the things you learned from some of those, early shows, with Hardo, for example? Because I mean, shit, going to DJ at Coachella, you better have like had at least like a few other entrances into DJing. Like, I know maybe you weren't like scratching and shit, but like no. But you're still up there and needing to like, no stage presence and shit. So like, what were some of the early things, or I guess some of the things you learned early on with some of those shows?
I learned early on to have a presence and
started as a hype man.
Exactly.
So you're basically just a hype man that plays the songs now.
Exactly, man. Those literally just came together like that. Like, and early on, I started DJing. Like, I was throwing my own events and just trying to get the hang of it. And then when I started really getting a buzz as a DJ, Barry and Zeke were always whenever they needed something, I was kind of like the utility guy at the time. Like,
Just like that role player.
yeah, for real. And so Hardo needed a DJ for certain shows, and you know they called me to do it, and you know I did it early on.
It's how so many DJs have gotten started.
Dude,
'cause
for real.
They literally just needed someone to do it.
Just out of necessity.
And then they're a DJ.
You know,
I don't really want to do this, but like,
That's why I DJ.
I ain't got other shit going on, so like, I might as well take a stab at it just to be like useful.
Yeah, straight up. And I'm big on, I'm really big on, you know, cooperating and like chemistry. I'm huge on chemistry. Like, whoever the artist you're on stage with, I really try to find a way to play off of him and play with, like, you know, really get a good show going. And so with Hardo at the time, like, he really needed a DJ that was, you know, had a big voice and was able to hype the crowd and everything, because, you know, he's not a super jumpy kind of guy. Like, you know, he lets the music speak. I mean, I did some shows with Hardo where like he wouldn't say a word and the crowd is just saying every damn word, you know, and
It's amazing.
That's kind of hard.
yeah, no, that used to be fire. And yeah, being like learning how to have the right chemistry no matter who you're DJing with definitely helped me to then work with JID. I remember how it happened too. Like, we did a South by Southwest. Hardo and JID were on the same bill, and I DJ'd with Hardo, and we did our set. It was straight, and then JID came on, smashed it, and then me, Barry, and Zeke had a talk one time, and they were like, "Yeah, I think you should be JID's DJ." And I was like, "Oh, for sure, like, yeah."
Yeah.
And our first show was.
Let me think on it. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, no, we can make that happen.
Sounds good.
Check my schedule, but
Yeah, well, I might have a session, but let's see if it'll work out.
I can squeeze you in, JID, in your Coachella performances.
Our first show was out in Utah. Yeah, it was
The Mormons
yeah, man. It was JID
and a bunch of white people.
JID, I Love McConan, and Earl Sweatshirt.
Okay.
it's a cool kind of mix. Yeah, I like that.
And why I knew I was gonna work with JID so early was because he already like had his shows planned out, his performances planned out from the jump. He'd just be like, "Yo, like, trust me, I got it. Just press play and I got it. But if you help me out, like, you know, because I knew his words to his songs and stuff. Because, you know, by this time, like, I produced a couple of them. And so, you know, he'd be like, "Yo, just help me out with the words. When I do this, you do that, you do that." Like, he was really choreographing things early on to where it helped me really get the chemistry down quicker than ever. Like, I'm like, "All right, bet, man." And even times where I just got to stand there and let you do your thing, perfect. Just rock out. And, you know, his energy then allowed me to get my energy up, and just we kept raising the bar after every show.
That's hard. Yeah, I mean, I feel like so many artists don't take the time to prepare how the set's gonna go. And that shit just like reeks when you see them on stage and you're like
Struggling.
Did you even think about how this is gonna go before you stepped on the fucking stage?
Oh, clearly no.
Yeah, but like someone like a JID, it's no shit why he's, you know, obviously there's other factors, but I'm saying from a live performance perspective, there's no shit that he's gotten to be on the biggest stage borderline in music right now, you know?
100%.
It takes that level of preparation and knowing like how you're interacting with the people that you have on your side of things and then the fucking crowd, you know what I mean? And like,
Did you guys rehearse for the Coachella set? Have rehearsals?
Yeah, did we rehearse? We had like light rehearsal because we rehearsed for the Dreamville Fest.
You have a basic like already you're set now, yeah.
Yeah, so we just kind of like
well, because that was only like a week or two before, right?
right, yeah. So we just sat together and went through the playlist, the track list, and swapped some songs out and ran it from top to bottom, you know, just playing things, making sure things were straight, making sure things sounded right. But like as far as like actual rehearsal, nah, we didn't.
Are you doing show mixes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you do them or okay? Yeah.
Do you just take out the leads and leave the stacks and ad libs kind of thing? Or?
Sometimes there's straight beats. It's a mix, and then other times
because he can
it's just
rap.
actual song.
Yeah.
So like
he's really a rapper.
He doesn't need to hide behind the leads being there. I would assume.
Yeah. No, not one bit.
Yeah.
Not one
like
bit.
this dude can. He's a rapper's rapper for sure. So
your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Yeah. So how do you approach though, like building a relationship with an artist? You've talked about chemistry a lot already. Is it the same, because you were talking about it from like a DJ perspective, but like, is that how you treat how you're locking in?
Oh yeah.
On the producer side?
Yeah. I think it's so important to establish a relationship with your artist,
even outside the studio,
especially outside the studio,
yes.
Because at the end of the day, like, you're both living lives and your lives will coincide. And so if the artist needs to feel comfortable expressing his or herself with you, and so you have to provide that safe space, and that comes through conversations, that comes through finding out what your similar interests are, finding out your differences as well. And that relationship is so important to going into the studio to where like the artist can rely on you for whatever it is, whether it's a beat or an opinion. They know who to go to, and I try to be that go-to guy with whoever I'm working with. Like, I want you to be able to completely let loose, accept the vulnerability and just give it the best you got, because I'm not going to judge. I'm not the one recording it. That's you up there that's got to do it. I'm the one that's going to tell you, yeah, that was fire. Yeah, that wasn't so fire. How can we make this work?
Do you have, I'm assuming you might get coordinated sessions from A&Rs and shit with artists that you've never hung out with, right? Like, can you feel the vast difference between someone like when you're locked in with an artist and when you show up because it's on your schedule type shit?
Yeah, initially you can. But that can be meddled quick because, you're both there to make some fire music, and keeping that in mind, like, at least I know for me and who I work with, that completely just makes things smoother, I would say. And sometimes, like, I used to not like those sessions because you'd be like, man, but like we don't even have the same style, or I don't know how this is going to work, But that challenge ends up, and it has ended up exciting me more than anything, because I would rather be put in a place where I don't know what to expect, and
it's almost better for the creativity. If like everything is lined up perfectly and you have exactly the gear you need and everything you need, it's almost like, okay, now what? If you have restraints and shit that holds you back, and you're forced to be creative, it's so fun when you have
I'm
to
like
figure
imagining it though as like this first date type of shit, right? Where it's like, well, do you just jump straight in? Like, do we just fucking do this? Do we just, do we talk about it first? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. How do you approach it? Like, do you try and get to know them like quick? Because you're kind of under the clock as far as like, if you're in a session that's booked for however many hours, you kind of need to like get to the deed. You know what I mean? But like, do you try and like exchange some like, hey, here's who I am, and a little bit about, you know what I mean? Like, do you do kind of that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I definitely have conversations before I work. I want to get to know you. I want you to get to know me. I want to feel like we could even hang after the session, you know what I'm saying? Get some pizza or watch the game or something and carry on. I think it's important because it just, like I said, like, we both have to feel comfortable in this. Just have some level of comfort within making the music. Like, ain't nothing worse than it just being silent,
Has that happened?
Has
there been some like crickets and awkward fucking sessions?
Can't all be perfect, right?
Man, definitely not perfect, but as far as awkward, I'm trying to think of when I was awkward. Now, I wouldn't say too awkward because I really try and like kill that awkwardness early, you know, even if I just say a joke or like something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just anything.
That's hilarious. So, when it comes to executive producing, first of all, are you executive producing JID's next project that's coming out?
Yes.
Fuck yeah, you heard it here maybe first. I don't know, but we're going to say that. One more time exclusive. We got Christo executive producing JID's upcoming project. I'm sure you're on like NDAs and shit, but like anything you can share about like what it's sounding like in comparison to maybe some of the past projects that you've obviously been a part of over the years. How's this one going to be different?
It's going to be fully executive produced by Christo.
Bing bong.
Fuck your life.
All I can say is, bro, it's going to be the best album we've ever done. Hands down, the best album ever. I can't really go too much in detail.
So like sonically, songwriting, I mean, just the whole package, it's just sounding.
It's evolved. Like it's both of us at an evolved state from DiCaprio 2, and more importantly from the Never story, which, this is the sequel to. That evolution is just present throughout every song and every moment of the album for sure.
Take us through like your approach, right? When you're working with JID, I guess on this project specifically, right? And maybe it's it applies overall to other artists you might work with. What's it like executive producing an album? Kind of like, where do you start? How does it evolve? You know what I mean? High level, you don't need to get into the, nitty gritty, but just like, what's your approach? You know what I mean? How do you even tackle that?
It's a lot of listening.
To music.
A lot of listening to music and to what the artist wants. Like I want the artist, whether it's JID or anybody, I want you to get your ideas out. I'm here to help you get your ideas out. So let's just start throwing paint at the wall. Let me hear what you want. How do you want this executed? And then I'll come in and execute it with you. Like, there's rarely, like, many times where, like, I come in like, yo, we should do it this way. We should do it that way. Like, I'm more one of those, you tell me what you want to do, and then let's do it. And I'll still do it the Christo way, but, like, I want the artist to almost feel like they producing the record too, in a way. Like,
you're executing their visions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's with anybody. Like, and with JID though, this album definitely was like that. Like, because he wanted to tell a story, we had to figure out the best way to tell the story. And, it's personal. So, there are moments where, like, just through conversation that created some of these, some bars and some songs, like, like I said, it came from conversation where, we're just talking about family some days. We're talking about, love, talking about, things that's just going on in our lives. And then being able to transfer that into the studio was like one of the main parts of the process.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you like whiteboarding a lot and shit, or is it more so just, remembering some of these conversations you had and that sort of thing?
Yeah, this album was the most we had ever whiteboarded.
Just hella whiteboarding.
Hella whiteboarding.
He never wants to see a whiteboard again after this project.
Do you talk about the project a lot before you even started any of the songs? Did you go into it with an idea? Like, it was premeditated?
Yeah, like this every day on tour. We were just talking about the album all the time on tour. We were just like working on the album on tour. Like he knew that JID is he plans ahead.
Yeah.
Like, say 100%. And so as we're touring, performing DiCaprio 2, like, he knew that this was going to be the next album. And so we were just talking about how to piece it together so that when we go home, we could start really working on it. And, I had a book. He has like 500 books that he keeps with like notepads full of bars and ideas and stuff. And so we just kept taking notes and gathering things. And, we'd work on some songs on tour and stuff. But was more so, me making a lot of beats that would suggest a direction for the album. And like I said, all this work was to then come home and have mad ideas to work on.
Yeah. See, this is a recurring theme. JID's arguably at the top of the he's one of the top.
One of the hottest in the game.
He's in conversations. He's in every conversation at this point, right? He has such a vision and knows what he wants to do. No
100%.
one's shaking him saying like, what the fuck do you want? Like, you know, what's your idea for this? I mean, he's coming pretty fully loaded. That's not taking anything away from you or his team, Barry and Zeke, and the whole, you know, ecosystem that supports him to get him to that fucking, you know, next level shit. But I mean, at the end of the day, this dude, and that's like speaks to superstars in general. I mean, he knows what he wants.
100%. He knows everything he wants. And if he can't do it, then he comes to me. You know?
I'm just saying, man.
Part, for the most part, he already knows what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And that just, I think, speaks volumes. This stuff, you know, you and I talk about all the time. It's like, you know, what are you looking for in an artist and what really makes a superstar? And I mean, that sort of innate ability to like
just caring
so much, probably, right? Like almost maniacal about it.
Oh no, not almost.
Like,
sorry, not almost.
Yeah, like obsessed with this shit.
Yes, you need
every
that.
little detail. I mean,
we're both super obsessive about these things. Like, you know, we lost sleep over this stuff. Like, we will stay up until we feel like, you know, we got somewhere with something. And, you know, all the conversations we've had, you know, and if we ain't in the same room, we're texting about the stuff. Like, it's just like any time of the day, like, there'd be so many times he would hit me at like 5:30 or 6 in the morning, just like.
What if the intro was just a conga instrument?
Go straight up, like, what you think about the song last night? Or, what you think of this? If I wasn't there for him to record it, he would send it to me at the same time, like 6, 7 in the morning.
Like voice memo kind of thing?
Oh, like the whole song, like. Or just like
if he came from another session or whatever.
He just send it. Like, he wouldn't even say anything. He would just send the file, and then I'd be like, or this was hard, or this was tight, but any time of the day or night, for sure. We just stay in constant conversation about this because that's how serious we take it.
Yeah. No, that's dope. So outside of the Dreamville crew, actually, wait, let me touch on this. So, you know, the Revenge of the Dreamer 3 sessions, we've had Jace on here and Bijan Amir, who both were at the sessions. They both had hilarious stories and perspectives on what went down at these, you know, legendary sessions, right? From your perspective, kind of, if someone wasn't there, like, paint us a picture of kind of what those sessions were like.
Those magical 10 days.
Madness.
Chaos.
Madness at its finest, for sure.
Beautiful chaos.
Like, you didn't know who was going to pull up any time of the day, any day of the 10 days. Like, it would be like 4 p.m. and, you know, DJ Khaled would just walk through. Like, Rick Ross would just come in, and then the whole Milwaukee Bucks would just walk in. Like,
yeah, Jay said, like, don't y'all have a game tomorrow? Don't you need to be practicing or some shit? Why the fuck y'all in here?
Yeah, man, it was crazy. And like, every room had something different and special going on. And like, I knew that to get the most out of it, you had to hop from room to room. You couldn't just stay in one. You had to be as mobile as possible, you know? So, man, what's crazy is the music that didn't make the album is just as crazy as the music on it. Like, there were just hundreds of songs that are going to be sitting on hard drives and laptops for...
God. They got to drop, like, the lost tapes at some point, you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure that they have to.
They'll do that.
So Under the Sun, obviously, that was one of the singles off the project, right? Mm-hmm. That was your record. Mm-hmm. Tell us about, like, the making of that. Is there any, you know, kind of story behind how that one came about?
Yeah, my man, shout out Nice Rec, one of my Pittsburgh boys. He came down like day 3 or something, and also shout out Matt McNeil, who he was just putting everybody together. Like, he put me in the room with a lot of producers and artists during them sessions. He'd be like, yo, here, meet this guy. And so he put me in the room with Plus. And I remember when Nice Rec sent me that sample, I started a beat to it. And as I was making it, I was like, yeah, this is tight, but let me see what Plus can do with it. And so...
Can't hurt.
You know? So I'm like, man, you know, for the sake of just not trying to overthink anything. Like, I sent them the sample. I left my drum break on it. That kind of served as like a turnaround in between like intro and verse and stuff and the hooks. And he loved it immediately. He put drums to it immediately. Cole walked in immediately, said he wanted it immediately, recorded to it immediately. Like, it was so seamless how that one worked out. And it's fun. I used to feel like that's when I really like understood like the total nature of producing. You know, like I've seen it a lot where like other producers have like, you know, maybe not have been so hands-on the record, but their influence or whatever was still on it. They were able to either put people together or mix and match this, that, and the third. And that was the first time I really ever did that. And it's ironic that still it's like my biggest song ever. And that's like the one I've done the least on, you know what I mean? But it's still a credit to my ability to be able to mix and match and put things together.
Just
like
knowing what a song needs.
Yeah, I knew that Plus was going to kill those drums, and I knew that Nice Rex sample was going to work with Plus. Like it was a perfect gospel chop.
Yeah. June the Genius just got interviewed on Producer Grind, I think, and he talked about how so many producers like see these sessions of these like big songs and they're like, man, I could have made that beat, and it's like, yeah, that's not the fucking point.
You didn't make that beat.
No, the point is that it's oftentimes built on relationship and foresight to put this person with that person. It's not about the fucking beat. These beats aren't like, no one's got these magical beats necessarily. There's fuck tons of producers out there that make dope beats. That doesn't fucking matter.
Exactly.
Or that's like, the bar is like here for that. You have to make good beats. Like that's clearly.
Exactly.
But he talked about, he's like, the only things that I've, you know, the reason why I've gotten to be where I am is because I either had a relationship that I built with the artist, built with the other producers, built with the fucking managers, A&Rs, whoever. It's relationships. And I mean, you clearly had the relationship with each of the pieces to the puzzle. You had the foresight to put them together sonically, right? So that there is some creative stuff that you clearly added to it as well. And then, you added your Christo touch as well. But also like, there is some of that just like making sure you're in the right place at the right time sometimes.
Oh, yeah, man. That's talent can only get you so far, man.
Yes.
It's literally everything outside of the talent. It's your behaviors that take you those steps further. And, like I said, being able to be hands-on in some ways and then being able to step back is a skill in itself for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. No, that's
a great
hard.
producer won't try and do something if they know they can call up someone that could do it better. It's
exactly.
Producing the record involves, this person should do this. It's seeing it as a whole. It's having the ear and knowing the people.
So was seeing Cole lay that, verse down and shit, was that just...
Well, I didn't see him record it. I heard it. Yeah, no, I wish.
Have you been? Have you seen him work before?
Yeah.
Is it as amazing as me as a fanboy am imagining it?
Man, that guy is crazy. Man, I remember when I was working with him, he would pick the smallest room out of the whole studio. Mm-hmm. It was literally like
the G room or some shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Like, it's so small. Like, only 3 people could really fit in that space. And he works so meticulous. Like, he will keep going at it. And if you think it's the perfect take, then it ain't. Like, he will go take after take after take after take. Make sure every word, the way he said it and the way it sounded was just on point. Like,
he doesn't strike me as a big puncher inner either.
No.
He's doing the bulk of the verse in one take. Yeah. But he does it multiple times.
Oh yeah. And I remember like sitting there like, at one point like we work on just one song for hours, and it was just at the time it was just like different from how I was working with other artists, because artists would punch in or they don't want to take too much time on it. If they feel like they're kind of like almost stuck, then they'll just let it go, or if they feel like they've been working on it for too long in their respective frame of time, like they'll just move on. But no, Cole will stick with it until he feels like it's done. And I mean, until the verses are done. And
Yes.
we worked on a few songs. We worked on several songs at the sessions that, I was thankfully, able to sit in and watch him work. But he works so hard at perfecting his craft.
So I've been in a bunch of sessions out at this point, right? But I don't, claim to be the like smartest guy in the room by any means, right? But I do see so many artists giving up or settling for a take or whatever. Which approach do you favor? Do you think it's tough to say you don't favor Cole's approach because he is literally the rap god at this point, right?
Yeah.
So like, do you agree with sticking to it until,
I believe that everyone has their own process, so I wouldn't say that I have a preferable way, because then that I wouldn't be learning at that point. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure. Let me put it this way. Do you think that a majority of artists, or, a handful of artists that you've worked with, maybe don't push through a little bit?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's that level of comfort where, like, all right, I can't seem to put these bars together at this point in time. I'm going to come back to it later.
And they never do.
Either never do, or like, you kind of like lose that sauce. The feeling, and to come back to it, like either like later that day or tomorrow or whatever, like can like, it can take things down a little bit, but that's only sometimes. Like, so like said, like everyone has their own process, and I feel like, they should just master the process that they feel like they can best attack.
Nah, for
It's a
sure.
good answer.
No, and me, I'm like, I'm so competitive.
He
where I'm
wanted
like,
you to say, just every artist should do it
Stop
until
being
it's
a
perfect.
pussy. Stop being a pussy and giving up when you can't get the, melody right. Like, fuck off.
That was the answer, right?
No,
there.
that's a great answer.
Yeah,
but-
I learned something. I learned early on from that sometimes it's not meant to be. Like if you wanted to finish it, you would finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
Damn it,
you
Christo.
don't, like,
That's how it
just gonna
is.
move
man.
on. You don't want to force it either. Like,
Yeah.
because then it becomes something that you're not fully.
Yeah, then you expect
that's
that
it.
artist to like give a 100% when the record comes out and like market it and talk about it and perform it. But like if they weren't 100% into it, it's hard to ask
if it
them
was
to
forced,
do that.
Exactly.
No, for
Bro.
sure.
They got to be hype.
So outside of Dreamville, who are some of the artists you've been locking in with recently?
I work with Nyamza. I've been working with her a lot.
We love Nyamza for sure.
She's cold.
Yeah. Jace actually writes a lot with her, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Trying to think who else do I work with outside, because I work with.
Well, I mean, I saw
Dreamville.
one that I feel like you've been locked in with on a couple records, maybe.
When?
That white girl from Oregon
girl,
or something.
Win.
Where is she?
Yeah.
She is fucking cold.
She's fire.
How did you
crazy.
connect with her? Like, how did that happen?
Barry and Zeke.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just heard it through the grapevine that there was a dope white girl spitting bars in Oregon.
Yeah. She if I remember correctly, she was tapping in with Earth Gang and JID early on, and she was interested in the shit I do, and so then I definitely remember Barry hit me one day like, yo, you should link with this artist Win, like y'all would sound good together. I said, all right, bet. Like if Barry and Zeke pass him to me, there's no question. Like bet we're making it happen.
Yeah.
So it's kind of blind faith in them because they've been right for you so many times.
Exactly.
It's like, of course you're gonna like
Worth a
consider
shot.
it. Like,
It might not
but-
work out, but why not
Yeah.
try it? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, we've locked in a lot.
Dropping songs together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I love the project that we did. That was
Did you do a whole project with her?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's called Do My Own Stunts. We dropped it
Okay.
last year.
All right. Yeah. I for some reason only saw like I guess the single off of it maybe or something. I just didn't realize there was a whole project.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to tap in for sure.
Yeah, 6 songs, 6-song EP.
Yeah.
It is
That's dope.
Yeah, she snapped on the entire project.
Yeah. Yeah, and the videos were so simple but creative as fuck, and like and had that like edge to it and shit. I was really fucking with it.
Yeah, that was all her idea. She's another visionary where she knows exactly what she wants to do. She knows how she wants things to sound, how she wants it to look, and
So important,
Bro.
Yeah,
I mean, how many times we're gonna have to hear it from people before
that are
like
successful? Yeah.
it fucking resonates?
straight up.
When next time you're in Atlanta, we're getting
Love
you
to
on
have
the,
you on the
podcast
podcast.
for sure.
Yes.
Got to hear that story. So outside of music, what are you into? Obviously soccer, but what are some of the other things that you kind of keep your mind, off of music when you need a break? You know what I mean? What are you getting into?
tennis.
I heard,
Ooh.
and I'm gonna
Tennis.
smoke your ass, bro.
You probably will, bro. I'm not good.
See, I wanted him to be
you
like
got
confident
confident.
back.
Nah,
Yeah, nah.
Damn it.
I'm confident that I'm gonna smack that ball over
the fence.
for sure.
Nah, that was definitely like my. Unfortunately, I grew up in a basketball family. My mom played it at Carolina growing up, and she was like a
Okay.
coach at Georgia Tech and Georgia State. Like she had a long career, in basketball. But I just was so fucking short until my senior year that like tennis, I picked that up, and like even though basketball was my favorite sport, tennis I was like much better at, which was like so annoying, It's like, I hated that when it was like fuck, like why am I better at this sport that I could give a fuck about in comparison to basketball, but is what it is. So yeah, tennis, anything else that kind of keeps your, mind off music when you need a break?
Yeah, man. I love to cook. I love to read. I love watching films.
Talking about cooking food, right? Not beats.
Yeah. Cooking food. I got a rule, man. If I don't cook, I don't eat.
Really?
So,
every single meal?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Every meal.
You don't eat out.
I stopped doing that.
So like, I couldn't offer to like treat you to dinner or something. Like you'd be like, sorry, bro. Oh, okay.
When it comes to feeding myself, like I won't go get fast food. I won't go to a restaurant myself.
Okay, so just
Yeah.
on the regular, you're staying consistent with cooking.
Oh yeah.
What are some of the go-to like Christo meals?
What's the patent?
Yeah, what are you
What's
making?
the specialty.
I make a mean chickpea masala.
Okay.
Show.
All right.
All right.
I make hella fish. I try and
Some snapper? You do
oh
snapper?
yeah, snapper,
Some salmon.
branzino.
We always do these at dinner time when I'm just
Grouper.
like drooling. Why did I ask this question when I knew one of the answers would probably be cooking? I heard you were chefing it up for sure.
You messed up.
Yeah, man. I try to just be creative. I'm starting to get into puzzles.
Ooh,
Nice.
Cool.
But like the puzzles, like the 3D puzzles that you put together. and
Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
never even heard of that.
Oh yeah. I literally just finished.
Is it like a Lego? Basically?
Almost. I just built the Liverpool Stadium. I got the puzzle.
Oh shit. Yeah, you gotta send me that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to see a picture of that. That's dope. So, how do you set aside time though? Is it like do you have to like schedule time to yourself like away from music, or are you pretty good about like the balance?
Yeah, I balance a lot because I know I try not to like work in the mornings. Like I try not to like just wake up and immediately go to work. Like, I really try to ease myself into working. And so with that free time, I know like I could spend an hour here, I could spend an hour there, 30 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Because I know that I want to at least end the day with, some work to be proud of, or even just knowing that I worked. Trying not to work too hard and finding things that I enjoy, like, makes the process a lot better, like, for better mentally and, like, even spiritually sometimes. Like, I just joined a Buddhist community. And
Okay.
Wow.
yeah, man. And that, just making more use of my free time and stuff. And
Meditating?
yeah, meditating and reading and just, trying to be a better person.
Damn. No, that's dope.
Love it.
Well, Henry, where we at?
This is the Rapid Fire Rampage.
Oh,
You said you watched Benji's episode. I don't know if you watched it till the end, because there's this final segment that you may or may not know about. It's called the Rapid Fire Rampage. It's broken into 3 parts. We'll go over them as we go, but first we're going to start with the short answer questions. I'm just going to fire some quick ones at you. Quick answer right back. Without any further ado, One More Time Podcast, episode 53, CJ McCollum. Christo.
This dude here, bro. That's just You think I really look like CJ McCollum?
I was struggling actually to come up with one. But,
I have no idea who that is.
You could
I
have
have no
said
idea who
Skinny
that is.
Schoolboy Q. You could have said
There's a little Kendrick in you too, actually.
You know, I could have said
Skinny Schoolboy.
Man Cuddy, not Kid Cuddy, but Man Cuddy.
Oh, yeah. Growing up, yeah, with the facial hair.
Oh man.
We might hire you to do the roasts in the future.
Should we ask our guests who should we roast?
Yeah, who can we compare you to? Amazing. Okay, starting with the short answer questions.
Season 2, episode 1.
What is the Christo motto or catchphrase?
All right.
All right.
I like that.
All right.
I like that. Simple. What is your go-to VST for melodies?
Spitfire Labs.
Good one. If you could have a musician who was number one in the world at their instrument with you at every cook-up session, what would that instrument be?
What would the instrument be? The harp.
Just have the
Just fuck tons of harps.
harp ever.
Yo, that's a Christo beat. It's got a harp in it.
I like that.
Have you used harps, like programmed harps, a lot in your beats?
I used a couple and I sampled some harps.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
these digital harps aren't
Yeah.
cutting it. They don't
Yeah,
sound
no,
real.
they're
I guess.
You can't get the sound of the finger hitting the strings, man.
Okay.
You're visited by the money fairy, who drops you a cool $100K to spend on your DJ and production career. How do you spend it?
On my DJ and production career.
Or just your music career in general.
Yeah, you can't take a vacation.
Right.
Oh, no, okay. I'm using some of that, putting a down payment on a house and turning it into a studio house. And I'm decking it out. I'm probably going to spend the money on that, to be honest.
That
Be a
works.
baller studio.
That works.
Making it
Okay.
crazy.
How important are collaborations / sending, receiving loops, etc.?
They make the world go round.
Period.
That's a cool answer, Christo.
He's got a couple cool answers so
Yeah, real polished.
far. Christo, you wake up as an ant. What is the first thing that you do?
I'm looking for food. Who's leftovers?
Yeah.
am I going for?
That chickpea masala.
Right? Yep.
Christo's trash cans is mighty nice.
Pulling up at Christo's trash can.
Yep.
You wake up as President of the United States of America. What is the first thing that you do?
Legalizing weed in every state.
If you were an item at Walmart, what would you be?
I would be a healthy snack.
Wow.
With a snap.
Yeah.
I love it. Christo, is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
How many tennis balls would fit in a broom closet?
Got it.
9,733.
Boom. And last but not least, what is your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Part one of the Rampage.
Part 1. It's probably a unanimous. Actually, no. We've had a few other answers having used that question for favorite curse word.
Someone said
damn. Someone said bitch.
little bitty bitch or something
Yeah,
like that. was one
something
of
weird
them.
like that.
Some
Yep,
extra
yep,
words on
yep.
one of them.
Part 1.
Part one of the Rampage.
Some
very
real
solid.
cool and calculated answers.
Very solid.
Yep.
He's off to a hot start. We're moving on to the this or that. I'm going to give you two options, and you simply pick the one that gravitates the most towards you. Just like that. Are you prepared? Are you buckled up?
Buckled up.
Upfront advance or back end royalty?
Ooh, back end royalty.
DJ money or producer money?
Producer money.
Reverb or delay?
Delay.
Because actually, if you make the delay fast enough,
You can.
it's a reverb.
Exactly.
It's kind of crazy.
Oh, cool. Music nerds.
Shut up,
Fucking
Ben.
techies.
Bass guitar or 808?
808.
Ooh, that's actually not what I was expecting. Sorry, Benji.
Fuck off,
That's
Lil.
why he Benji.
Fuck off, Lil, bro.
Why he Benji and I'm Christo.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. There you go. Home studio or commercial studio?
Home studio.
Producing at night or producing during the day?
Producing at night.
But
man.
tennis.
My man.
But tennis during the day.
You know, exactly.
Or building, models of the fucking Liverpool Stadium.
Starting with drums or starting with melodies?
Although I do it less, starting with drums.
Yeah, most people do it less, but it is fun to get that rhythm going first. 6-track EP or 18-track album?
6-track EP.
Sampling or all original?
That's tough. All original.
For those back-end royalties.
Exactly.
Spotify or Apple Music?
Spotify.
Cinderella or Snow White?
Cinderella. But Brandy, the black Cinderella.
Oh, facts.
Soccer or tennis?
Soccer.
Jamaican food or Italian food?
Jamaican. Easy.
Dancing or singing?
Singing.
M&M's or Skittles?
You fucked me up. Oh, you fucked me up. Ah, man, because the sour Skittles go crazy, but the peanut M&Ms go crazy. Yeah, I gotta go M&Ms.
No company or bad company?
No company. Leave me alone.
Silly hats or silly socks?
Silly socks.
Live the rest of your life with one enormous thumb or one enormous butt cheek?
Yeah.
Oh, you're comparing? Sorry, that wasn't a choice.
I know.
You're imagining it?
He was imagining how big his thumb would be.
Going with the thumb. So you don't have to sit like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. This last one is a assessment of your risk tolerance. A 75% chance of producing, let's say executive producing, a platinum album, or a 25% chance of executive producing a diamond album.
25% chance.
He's going for it. Risk it for the biscuit, part 2 of the Rampage.
I love that answer. He's like, fuck it, I'm getting platinum, no problem. So
Way the fuck harder to get diamond, bro. It's just so hard. Like, people don't go diamond. So, last part of the Rapid Fire Rampage, part 2.
Part 2 was great.
Also very solid.
Really good.
I only had to hit
He
the
picked up the speed.
Jeopardy button one time, and it
You really
didn't last
fucked
that
him
long.
up with the candy choice, though.
Yeah, that fucked me up.
That was the one that was like,
That was the hardest one for him,
I'm a
apparently.
snacker, bro.
Okay.
it's crazy.
So
all right, so
yeah, that's how he justifies his snacking by cooking at home and eating healthy outside of like the M&Ms
right,
and Skittles.
still snacks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Final part is the word association. I'm going to fire one word at you, and you just fire the first word off the top of your head right back at me. It's that simple. Except, for PR agents that want you to be very careful about what you
You would
say.
make a fire game show host, bro.
That's basically what this
crushing it.
is, right? That's basically what this is. Thank you for saying that. Part 3 of the Rampage, word association with Christo, episode 53.
Yeah, the way he does his game show host voice. It always creeps people out because you've got a whole episode of him talking normal, and then he gets to this part. It's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Been waiting on this part.
Yeah.
Starting with sample.
I just fire a word back at you.
First thing off the, if it's 2 words maybe, but your first thought.
Lawsuit.
It's amazing. Yes, it's perfect.
Caught one of those?
Oh, and thankfully, no.
Not yet. Stage.
Presence.
Boot.
Cut.
Splurge.
On strippers. That's 2 words. Sorry.
That works. See, that's what I mean. You can add like a preposition here and there. FaceTime.
Don't.
Water.
Filter.
Nintendo.
64.
Piano.
Roll.
History.
Schmistery.
Okay, don't get in the habit
History.
of that.
History. I will accept it for that one. Uncle.
Schmunkle.
Buck.
Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck.
Shout out. Depression.
Healing.
Microphone.
Check.
Chorus.
No.
No chorus. Just bars.
Straight
You know
bars.
that song?
Love it. Cake.
Walk.
And similar to cake, OnlyFans.
Should be free.
Everyone wants a free lunch, Christo.
Corpse.
Bride.
Podcast.
One more time.
Oh shit, Christo, that's my guy. I would have felt some type of way if he was like, no jumper.
I was kind of trying to set
Joe
us up,
Rogan.
but
Yeah, no, that would have been okay, maybe.
I was setting us up for either failure or awesome. So
Yep.
it worked out.
Thank you.
Lil.
Wayne.
Thank you. Government.
Cheese.
Horn.
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 Lena Horn. Shout out her.
NFT.
Why?
Not a fan.
Pot.
Roast.
Crown.
Royal.
Yellow.
Bone.
Oil.
Jojoba.
Okay, we needed quick
No idea what
explanation
that
of
is.
that.
Jojoba oil?
Okay, it's a type of oil.
Yeah, it's a type of oil.
Okay, is
Good
that
for
how your skin stays so smooth?
Okay.
Jojoba oil.
All right.
Last one. Tiz.
Haha, Christo.
Yep.
What a rampage.
What a rampage. What an episode. It's been an honor, man. Really appreciate you coming on.
Really appreciate it, man. Huge fan.
Love the perspective on, how you treat working with artists, and, it's kind of like taking that step back and kind of getting in where you fit in, and making sure that they feel comfortable so that you can help them bring to life like what it is that they're trying to do. And I mean, that's something that producers out there need to really listen intently to, because
Indeed.
don't be like me and try and force force yourself into the situation. Say, do it this way. Do it. Yeah, exactly. But no, awesome stories, man. Can't wait to, keep seeing you crush it. I can't wait for JID's project and all the other shit you've been working on, man. It sounds like this JID project is going to be, phenomenal.
Is there a name?
Yeah, Forever Story.
Forever
right?
Story.
Oh, right, Forever
Yeah.
Story.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. So really looking forward to that. Can't wait to see what that does, and can't wait to see you rocking more festivals like Coachella, man. You looked really hella comfortable up there. So
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for having me.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure everyone's gonna have that throne, with that bird's eye view, but you can hope.
Man, all right, I might need that every time now.
Yeah, that's on Christo's rider from here on out.
Please.
Yeah, for sure.
10-foot platform.
Yep. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Henry,
you.
until next week, what are we doing?
Peace out.
We're getting out of here. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Hop up in that foreign skirt, no. All the homie, this shit tripping, no. Middle finger to the law.